Coming down to Abuja Network Center, we are diving into security issues. We are all aware of what is happening in the Niger-Delta, there, where we have security agencies, the military, the NSCDC. They have been there protecting our critical infrastructure. I'm talking about pipelines against crude oil thefts. But it appears as if the more protection that the government is putting in place for this critical infrastructure, the more those who are behind vandalization and all of that are trying to outsmart, let me just use that word, our government and our security agencies. We are going to be taking a look at the continuous attack on critical infrastructures in Niger-Delta, the continued crude oil theft, and how to check all this things and what can be done to ensure that these critical structures are well protected. I will be discussing that with no other person but our very own Jonathan Isaac, a security expert. I know if you have been watching ITV, you will know this face. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good morning,
protecting critical infrastructure and the security level, looking at the fact that we have the military there, we have we have the NSCDC, we also have private security agencies protecting these infrastructures, and yet crude oil theft persists. Why do you think we're still having these issues?
Yes, I think because we've not strengthened our laws to cover what should be done to offenders of crude oil theft. I think crude oil theft is something that we can say any other person that tries to attempt on national treasury has undermined our national security, has undermined the country Nigeria, not just in the region. And so we need to have a force to combat what crude oil theft should be like. For instance, in the last 2 years thereabout, we have been experiencing crude oil theft. Even when we have all the agencies you've mentioned, the data security appears to be one of the hope for Nigerians, because for a region where we have the Navy, the Air Force, all the military juntas are there, including the Civil Defense Corps. They are all still there. Nothing happened until data security was able to give Nigerians hope by arresting and also providing information about the vessels that came on illegal mining. Now, let me tell you something about oil theft in a way. For you to have your tank or your vessels filled, it takes not just hours, it takes days. So you can't have vessels that is positioned in a particular location, siphonning oil for 3, 4, 5 days, and you tell me there will be no going to patrol, no surveillance or any such on the place. And that means that whatever is actually killing the beans lives right there in the beans. If not so that security agencies are compromised, the moment you hear that the vessel have been arrested for illegal mining, the next thing you hear is that they've destroyed the vessels. Let the owners of these companies be investigated. Now, the question that comes to mind is that how many of these companies have been investigated? How many of the officials or the MDs of the companies have been arrested? How many of them have been prosecuted? So there's no deterrent, and you should expect more of it to happen, because if there's deterrent, and then you now expect a sort of repentance from others. But in the instance where what you're going to have is that they destroy the vessel and that ends the story, nothing is going to happen. So we should begin to we should also bring innovations and technologies to stop what they call oil theft. If not so, they tell you we produce how many million barrels of oil in a day. Is that calculated? Is that of the theft also included? So it equally shows that even Nigeria as a country does not have the data of the actual data of what Nigeria is producing per day. If not, we'll not be talking about oil theft.
Okay, when you talk about making arrests and prosecuting, maybe even convicting people who are behind this, you are in the other way saying that there's no trust in the system, because even recently, according to reports, the chief executive officer of NNPCL, that's Military, he came out to say that the elite are behind this. Yes, he said it, that the elites are behind this.
We should stop such allegations, because it's still an allegation, just like in the last.
That's what I'm saying. He is alleging. He is saying that yes, that the elites are water. So if that is the case, Nigerians will be asking, you who is a government official and he knows all this, why is it that nobody has been mentioned?
It's just like the case of, we know who they are. We know the sponsors of banditry.
So when government begin to talk like this,
it shows that the government also is part of it. When government begin to point accusing fingers of people, I see you and I that are talking about, if they know them, the government must have all it takes to invite, to do anything they want to do. Do you understand? So if government have a credible intelligence or information about a thing or about a person, it takes them no less than 1 hour to send invites, and the person will be right there. Take the case of the Kuma killings and all of that. They have published a list of those that they wanted, or those they declared wanted, or even invited, and even one of them have even presented himself for questioning. So if government said, I know you, Tanko, you are behind this, I want to see you now.
No name has been mentioned.
It's just like, you see, that is why I said government itself is not true to the cause. Otherwise, you've been in government, or you witnessed the last administration of His Excellency, the former President Buhari, says, the National Security Advisor said, yes, we know those that are behind insecurity and all of that. We're going to publish the name. He kept on until that administration ended.
I think that seems to be a template, because he wasn't even the only one. The one before him said
so when the government also is part of the problem, they put it on the people. So government itself is part of the problem. Is it you and I that have, what it takes to take vessels onshore or offshore to make sure that do you know what it takes to take oil? I mean, do you know what it takes? The vessel you're going to hire, Tanko, will be enough to change your story. So it is not you and I that is on the streets that is going to be going there to go and hire vessels. These vessels are even owned by people that they know. These companies are registered. They have the vessels registered, RC numbers. They have all it takes. And then they are telling you and I that they are on top of the situation. How long do we continue to deceive ourselves? Do you have oil well in the region? Most of our generals, most of our retired personnel have oil wells in that place.
Are you sure that
if this is an allegation, then you need to go and ask the general that you know. The general that will know, that is T.Y. Danjuma. He made it publicly, not coming from me as a first person. The clips are everywhere. He said our national treasury have been shared to individuals, and now that is referring to oil. And we cannot continue to talk about oil theft when we have not been able to reclaim national treasuries.
When we talk about sharing, I think this is something that has to do with bidding. People will bid for oil wells, and whoever gets, you get.
It is a legal process.
It is a legal process. That is what that's what the system says. So
is that what the Constitution has now said? So if that is the case, then we go to Kogi State and we now have to bid for the little oil we have, and then we'll take it back. Is that also? So we cannot be talking about bidding. That is where the corruption start coming from. So
if there's not going to be bidding, how should it be done?
The government should take responsibility of what they call oil wells and not allocating to individuals for whatever you put it, bidding or not. This is not what it. Now you come from the north, or I come from the south. You find oil in the north, I come from the south to come and then bid oil in the north. You come from the north, you have found oil in the south, you come and bid oil in the north. Is that what the Constitution said? These oils are reserved for only for the processing of government, not for any individuals. So we should not be saying it's bidded and all of that. Is it auction? They let auction all the oil wells, so we don't have anything to do with but oil anymore. This is our national treasury, and the government should take, steps to protect it. Otherwise, in years to come,
don't you think that the government's intention of giving this oil wells to individuals is for maximum service delivery, maximum production? Given the fact that over the years we've seen firms being managed by governments that actually do not do well. Let's look at
let's spoken as a journalist. I will respond to you as a security journalist. Now, let me put it.
Don't you think the intention is for maximum production?
If that is the case, Tanko, let me ask you a very simple question. Nigerians are watching.
Even Mr. President also is watching. Now, let me tell you this. Regardless of the maximum productivity or whatever you put it there, what is our national consumption? What is our daily consumption? Now, when we are up to date, the government says it's not paying subsidy. And we are talking about, is it consumption subsidy or production subsidy? So if what your excuses for allocating these oil wells to individual maize is for maximum productivity, then we would have our national consumption, our internal consumption well filled with everything. Because if Mr. A is producing, Mr. B is producing, there should be oil everywhere. And then the cost of oil in Nigeria per liter should not be more than 150 or 100 naira per liter. So if the essence of government is having enough in his hands or in her hands and could not be able to process it, and so individuals should come and begin to process it so that we can have enough oil. If that was a reason, then we shouldn't have been having oil scarcity over the years. Now, if that is a reason also, the host communities that own this oil should have had a lot in their community when there's no water.
Yeah,
a lot of things have happened. The cleanup have become a mirage over the years.
What
are we talking about? So we should know that these things are not working. It is just come and take part of the national cake and go. It's a compensation.
Okay, as a security expert, looking at this these points that you just put out, talking about the host communities, and they are not getting what they should. Would you say that is also part of the problem?
It's also part of the problem. It is also part of the problem. People cannot go to their farmlands. People cannot have good water to drink. They don't have good roads. Would you expect them naturally to protest? What brings about this upsurge is bad governance. When the people don't have access to good electricity, good schools, good road, there's no basic amenities put in place. And every day you come to, drill their lands and all of that. They have seen the impending dangers of continuing this drilling and all of that. Even the killings, don't you know there was a clash between two communities? And what could lead to some of these things? So we should be talking about, how government to provide basic amenities. And if we are going to stop oil theft, let there be innovation, like in other developed countries. These oil wells have meters. They have what it takes. That's why I said, do we have the real data of what we drill per day? When we talk about we are producing how many barrels per million barrels per day, is it true? Are they true? Even carry, does it know really? Does it really know? So because we don't have what it takes to cover, there's no even 24-hour surveillance manning these areas that we can say, okay, we saw people in these areas and all of that. Nothing of that. Okay, the oil wells that we talked about today, have we even a market to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I'm saying, okay, Nigeria have about 5,500 oil wells. Is Nigerians aware of the data of the oil wells we have? Do we have it? We don't. And so if we don't have it, how do we protect it? Can you really protect what you don't know? It is until you are aware of the existence of some of those things. That is when you can begin to protect it. And that is why even foreigners have taken advantage of some of the goods we have in the north, and then we have illegal miners everywhere today in the name of banditry in the north. They are not bandits. They are all there just to take away attention of Nigerians and steal from us. So if we don't have the numbers, the statistics of the oil wells we have in the Niger-Delta, in all the regions, then at the end of the day, we will not be able to protect it. Until we have the numbers and then we're able to target. We're able to target, not just having the numbers, until we are able to target and put satellite on that in that area, and then we are able to watch that, yes, so oil well produce so millions per day. So oil well produce so thing. But when we don't have the numbers and we don't have the technology to man these areas, then where are we going to be getting the oil from? Are we asked ourselves question, where is the Dangote refinery getting the oil? Is it from the NNPC depot or also from his own oil well that's allocated to him too, like you said? That the oil wells are actually allocated to individuals to maximize productivity.
But I haven't mentioned Dangote.
No, I'm just putting it. So if you are giving to individuals, is Dangote not an individual, not a company? So it's owned by someone. So if it's allocated to individuals, then they have to maximize productivity. Unfortunately, the hope that is given to
but Dangote has a refinery that hopefully will begin to find out.
Unfortunately, that is also going to end in another backlash because the process to it. I'm coming. I'm not.
Give Nigerians hope.
The hope we cannot continue. Look, the current administration came up with the tax renewed hope, and the renewed hope agenda is meant well by Mr. President. Unfortunately, there's no policy sequence to bring the hope, the expected hope that Nigerians to have. So we cannot continue to be giving Nigerians hope when the right things are not being done. Because when you and I are going to be seen as liars in the near future, when we give Nigerians hope today that probably bag of rice will be reduced to 20,000 or an oil will be bought at 150 when Dangote finally start, and eventually if Dangote start by next month or next 2 months and are buying oil at 700 naira, then you and I will be called thieves at the end of the day.
The PIA was supposed to take care of all of this. Now, as we speak about these challenges and everything, can we say it has failed Nigerians?
Well,
especially the host communities.
The host communities, you and I know that they have failed eventually. Unfortunately for us, the host communities have been deceived, and this is actually bringing to the killings of even foreigners.
A certain percentage goes to their governors.
The governors are added through to the cause. The IGR in those states. Look, we have shells. We have all of that in those areas. What development have been given to the people? Such money are not even supposed to go to the governor. Not. But
so how would you advise such money?
There should be percentage in different formation. There should be percentage and to be shared in different formation. I tell you for this, I tell you for free, that when this money goes to the governor, it is still seen as their federal allocation and not like the state revenue that should be utilized for the purpose of the state development of the states. So they feel that it is their entitlement, and so when they get to power, it comes to them continuously. And so that is why they do everything to get to power. But once this money are directly given to the host communities through either beach leaders or whichever platform, are you not aware? Are you not aware that till tomorrow we have what they call militants that have repented and other militants that have repented? Are you not aware that they still come to Abuja every now and then to come and collect tax? I have seen for myself. And I'm telling you, between you
come to collect tax.
They come to collect tax. Go there, data building. Go to the one that is the central area here. Collect tax
or collect stipends.
It's tax. What is stipend? It's tax. Once money that is they have made it that is compulsory for them every month, is becoming a tax. Not longer stipends.
It's actually. They are being paid, and that is also to make sure that they stay in place and stay away from the activities they were engaged in.
It's given to them willfully, like welcome, thank you, take. But when it becomes a tax, it is something that they are coming to collect. Month has come to end. They are coming for it today. So it becomes a tax on you, even as much you see it as stipend. It's a tax on you that you must fulfill. So they are coming to collect tax here every month. And so if we have people that you think that region is okay, they are fine, they won't have been coming to collect this tax every day. And that shows that they are disgruntled. And anybody who is disgruntled can even connive with an outsider. Since the government is doing this and they are not seeing the benefit, we have to start doing it to ourselves. Unfortunately, that's not the approach that should go. But then they are taking it into their hands and say, look, let us also develop our area by doing so. So government need to be true to the promises to the people, and also allow the people, or also the people too, should allow themselves for them to benefit from government.
You talked about strengthening the laws against crude oil theft. What do you mean? Can you be more elaborate?
Yes, the National Assembly knows what to do in this regard. That oil theft should become, not just a case of prosecution of this. No. Oil theft should be regarded as one of the highest thefts in this country. Because if for any reason you deal with our national patrimony, then at the end of the day we will not have anywhere to go to. Because oil, we have not maximized the productivity in agriculture. We haven't. And so the only place we can focus on to utilize, to have a better Nigeria is on the oil. And God forbid one day this oil will not dry up, and then we begin to talk about how do we finance our budget, because our budgeting system is still on the oil.
We are diversifying the economy.
Well, let's see that. Well, we've not seen the evidence of this diversification as promised by Mr. President and also the Senate President. So let's hope that we are going to have this economy diversifying in such a way that it will benefit Nigerians, and not just for the pocket of the individuals and the National Assembly. But like I said too, if we did not develop these areas more so that this government is talking about renewed hope. Let them give to the people what belongs to the people. And then the people also should submit themselves to the will of the government.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Jonathan Isaac. I will take this as your last word.
Thank you,
thank you very much for always obliging us with your presence. Well, you've heard it, the federal government, if you're watching, state governors, and everybody who is involved in this, give the host communities what they truly deserve. Make life better for them, and let's see, maybe we can start from there to see how we can tackle this incessant crude oil theft.